What's up? Welcome back to another video. Today's message of the day is rust sucks. I don't know if you saw the reel that I just recently posted. I'll put the link down below if you want to. It's of the straight pipe Lexus, but the reason that I took the exhaust off in the first place is because it rotted away again. About a year after I first got the Lexus, the exhaust rotted off right at the flange, or not even at the flange, it was right where the tailpipe comes out of the back end of the muffler. It rusted off right there. I'll put in a picture right here. But that was pretty inconvenient. That was pretty annoying. I had to take off the muffler for the time being because it was dumping exhaust right underneath of it and making the underside of the car very hot. And so I drove it around without an exhaust. It sounded pretty mean. And then all was good. I replaced it all seemed to be good. And then once again, it rotted off. This time at the flange. So it came out, it was dumping exhaust right by the spare tire. I'll put pictures of that in now. That was also no bueno. Not good, however you want to put it. So lo and behold, I had to take off the exhaust once again. As you heard there, it did sound pretty mean, so there were no complaints on how it sounded, except for the fact that it did drone on, and that began to hurt my ears, began to give me headaches, and headaches while driving suck. So I took that off, put it back on. I was able to fabricate the old muffler back together and just get a new tailpipe, so you can see the new one is nice and shiny, as I'll show you now. Nice and shiny. And the old muffler down there doesn't look too bad. Of course, though, there's a kicker. There's always something. So one of the exhaust arms that actually goes onto the pipe broke it right off. It's still on there right now. I'm going to have to take it the rest of the way off, but let me show you what we're dealing with. So here's one of the exhaust arms. It doesn't actually line up with this little exhaust hanger right here, so I haven't had it connected, but look at that nice little hole that it left me. I was putting it on, I lifted up on here, and you can see it just peeled right there. So I'm actually going to take that the rest of the way off. Kind of just shake it till it comes off. Weaken the metal. It's on there a bit more than I thought. Bingo. But now you can see I have a hole in my exhaust, which sounds pretty annoying. Let me show you what that sounds like when I start it up. So while it does sound pretty gnarly, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of me even putting the muffler back on. So I'm going to patch it. I'm going to try something new, something I've seen online before but never actually tried myself. Here I have some JB Weld ExhaustWeld. I've seen this. You can see it kind of just wraps around like a bandage. Supposedly works on manifolds, catalytic converters, mufflers, and tailpipes. So, 16 bucks. Let's give it a shot. Now, according to the directions here, you just have to prep it, clean it of all oil, dirt, grease, roughen up the surfaces for better adhesion, which I'm going to do. Wear the gloves, apply it, so I need the pouch. To ensure the wrap is saturated, open the pouch and wrap the damaged area as tightly as possible without slipping. Use entire roll, applying at least 5 layers over the brake itself and 2 to 4 inches of wrap to support on both sides of the brake. And then apply included aluminum tape around the wrap to secure in place. While curing, do not fully cover wrap with tape. And then to cure with heat, either use a heat gun or turn on the car for 20 minutes. Product cures in 2 hours without heat. Remove aluminum tape after curing. So here goes nothing. For prepping the metal here, I have some acetone. Evaporates all the way, which is nice. I have some wax and tar remover in case I need that. The acetone usually gets the job done, but this is a good supplemental. To actually sand everything down and actually get a more rough surface for it to adhere to, I have some sandpaper. I got 60 grit. That's what Home Depot carried as the roughest grit they had there. I got a little grinding disc, little ultra coarse 40 grit as well, so I might try that out. I don't know how well that will or won't work, but I figured why not get it just to try it. And then I got something for my oscillating tool as well. This is a little sandpaper variety set, as you can see up there. So that goes on, these clip on around it, and that'll give me a bit more precision. So I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I'm going to like one over the other. I honestly might just stick with the sandpaper just because it's simpler, but this might get the job done faster. I'll kind of see how well of precision I can get down there, but I'll break out my tools. I'll get prepared to get dirty, and let's get to work. I've got my sandpaper here. A little sandpaper on the oscillating tool. And the sanding disc on my grinder. So I'll give each of those a shot, I'll see what works best, and then I'll go with that. I'll just start with the traditional sandpaper, which I think is enough to get the job done, but the other two might just speed it up a little bit. Nice. It's getting the job done, but I'll need a little bit stronger. Keep going with this. Not really traditional. A block would help, but here we are. try something a little stronger. I'm not going to touch that, but that's definitely getting the job done. Try the good old oscillating tool along as well and see how that does. Grinder seems to be doing quite a job, a little bit more than is easy to work with down here, but... And to my surprise, that one's actually been the easiest to work with so far and is producing some of the best results. It's getting nice and grooved up a little bit down here. I'll smooth it out just a little bit more and hit it with some sandpaper and see how that works. I'm going to try to slide next to this. I don't know if I'll be in the way, but hopefully not. It actually is still relatively smooth, all things considered. I'm going to hit it a little bit with a wire wheel, see what that can do. Kind of try to score it up a little bit up and down here. At least on the sides, on the bottom, top where I can reach it. And then I'll put on the tape. Drill is here with the wire wheel, let's hit it. So once again, I'm not going to go touching that because it's pretty hot, but hopefully that sanded it down a little bit more. Running my fingernail back against the back of it. There you go, it's cooled down a little bit. So it's got a little bit of grit to it, not a ton. Hopefully it'll be enough to hold. But yeah, I'll get that cleaned up now. We'll clean that up a little bit of acetone, a little bit of that wax remover, and then we'll get going. Here's some wax and tar remover. Should be more than enough right there. Take this, rub it around. It's actually got a really nice citrus scent to it. It's definitely not good to be inhaling, but I didn't expect that to actually smell good. But yeah, look at all that old rust, all that old scum, tar, you name it, coming off the road. Look at that. Hit it with some acetone. Feels nice and cold on my gloves right now. You gotta love acetone. There we go. Look at all that. Now we're ready for tape. So the area has been prepped and now it tells me to wear the provided gloves, so I shall do so. From there I'll need the pouch to ensure the wrap is saturated, open it, wrap the damaged area tightly, blah blah blah. Apply the aluminum tape to hold it in place while it's curing, and then cure. So let's get to it. So looking at this here, this is the actual tape itself. That's what it says to knead down, so make sure that's good to go. I'll do that a bit more off camera, and then here's the aluminum tape. Outside of that, here's the gloves they want me to put on, so I'll put on the gloves, I'll knead it down, and then I'll get wrapping. So here we go. Now I'm really curious as to what to expect when I open this up, because I don't know if you can hear this. I'll put this up near the microphone. Kind of makes a little bit of like a slurping sound, so there's definitely liquid in there. I guess something's just got to knead in with it to actually break it in, so I'm making sure that it's good to go. I don't know what kind of chemicals are in here, what kind of chemical reaction this is going to have. I don't know how any of this works. I just know how to put it in and follow directions, so continue to knead it, get out my gloves, and throw it on. So here's the moment of truth. What do we got in here? What does this stuff look like? What? Wow. Oh, that's interesting looking. Weird. Alright, so it says to wrap it as tightly as possible around here. It says to get 5 wraps over the hole and to get 2 to 4 inches on either side. So here goes my best attempt at that. This stuff is weird. Alright, so, shoot. Well, that sucks. There's one wrap. Gotta get that bit tighter. Yep, 1, 2. Now I gotta get it all tangled. My advice, don't drop it like I did, because that makes it suck a lot more. There's 3. Ah, goodness gracious. Yep, now it's on my skin, so I'll have to wash after that. There's 3. 4. And 5. Now, I had no idea how slippery this is going to be, which is why I kept dropping it. So if you're trying to do this to follow along, don't drop it. Make sure that you're wearing those gloves nice and tight. Flip that over a little bit, trying to get that untangled, as you can see. There's 5. And so now I just got to focus on rolling it a little bit past. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. With that weird paste, it is held on. So, yeah, there's that. Throw on the aluminum tape now. I'm going to wash my hands immediately after this before I even start it up, just for the sake of the fact that I did take my gloves off for this. It's not much tape. Hopefully it's enough. But it says to start it up and to let it cure with heat. So the moment of truth will be to turn this on. I'm going to go ahead, turn it on, see if it cures well, and see if it holds. In true electrician form, I loosely put on some copper wire just to hold it, just to make sure it doesn't expand. So let's start it up and see what we get. It says in the instructions to let the engine run for 20 minutes just to make sure that it actually is able to cure and get hot. So I'm going to do that. I'll come back in 20 minutes. As you can see, I've lost my battle to the sunlight, but Lexus is at 286,389 miles. Shut her off. Pull the key out and take a look underneath to see how it's cured. And looking underneath, seems pretty solidified, so that's pretty cool. I'll take off this little bandaging, this little tape right here. And you can see now that it looks nice and clean. So, kind of looks like it's a little bit like a cast if you were to break your arm or leg or something. It's a fiberglass mesh tape that goes over top of it. And I don't know what the actual curing agent on the inside is, but yeah, knead it into it, wrap it on, clean it up, and, or actually, almost quite the opposite steps there. Start by cleaning up, then wrap it, then knead it, then wrap it, sorry. Too many thoughts in my head, but anyways, it is nice and quiet now, which I like. I don't know how long that'll hold up. Hopefully it holds up a while. The way that I kind of looked at it was a new muffler is $170. This was $16, so it was less than a tenth of the price. So I decided, you know what, let's give it a shot. So we'll see how long that lasts. I'll provide an update in a while, maybe, see how that's looking. But for now, there you go. Good alternative to actually replacing your muffler. On that note, that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking in. Hopefully more good content to come. Just another Lexus video for you. Seems like the Lexus videos do very well on the channel, so I like to upload them whenever I can. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to share, like, subscribe, whatever. I've got my Instagram page, my email, whatever. Reach out to me. Let me know what's going on, what's good. Drop a comment, something like that. So thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.